Okay, now I give the floor to Dana because Dana will moderate the session as usual, and she will explain to you exactly how it will flow and what the process is. I switch off my microphone in order to be as good as you are. Okay, enjoy. And I talk to you later at the end.
So, good morning, everybody. So, according to my list, we should have people from 20 countries, which is very encouraging. And my first task is to introduce 2 of our new members. And it has been a long-term mission of mine to recruit new members, to encourage them to join the EURAC community. And we have got 2 countries that we have not had in the past. And if I go in alphabetic order, I would like to introduce first, if she is with us, Dr. Christine Galstian from Armenia. Christine, are you with us?
Yes, yes, of course. Hi, everyone. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, so Christine, I will introduce you and give you the floor just to say very briefly why you joined EURAC. So Christine, I met her 18 months ago in Prague, and we discussed the possibility to bring memory training to Armenia, and we settled the dates for the course for trainers. Of course, pandemic was in our way and we couldn't implement it, but Christine has been working on memory training, preparing the course from that time when we met in Prague, and she already established the Armenian Memory Center in Yerevan, and we already had one Zoom meeting with the prospective memory trainers to be. So, Christine, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet all of you, and many thanks for the opportunity to join your EURAC Memory Training Center. I believe we will have a good cooperation experience. Currently I'm working at Ministry of Health in Armenia in Public Health Department as a project manager. I'm leading several projects, and I'm also very much interested in the future and issues related to aging population. While I was holding my master's degree in public health, the topic of my interest for my thesis project was educational needs of Armenian seniors. Why I have chosen this topic? Because I saw that aging population does not have future in our country. Society is not ready to include them and give them a meaningful life. Although life expectancy in Armenia is constantly growing, and it grew from 2018. In 2018, it comprised 74.87, and in 2021, it comprised 75.28. If you look at extreme numbers, global extreme numbers, in Central Africa, life expectancy is 54.36, and in Hong Kong, which is the highest, 85.29. It shows that Armenia is much more higher than global average. However, our country has a problem with integrating this population into our society. And usually people reaching retirement age do not have opportunity to construct a meaningful life. What they can do is only to take care of their grandson, granddaughters. They can only operate in household. They do not have their private life. Their routine depends all on their families. They do not have social links and development opportunities, prevention opportunities to prevent cognitive decline. My result of my thesis showed that people are eager to have such opportunities in Armenia, and they will probably utilize it. However, we still cannot offer them nothing, and the memory trainings would be a good opportunity to recruit this population, and it is good opportunity for them for socializing in groups and even creating such mnemonics by themselves, not offering by me, but I can facilitate them to create their own mnemonics in cooperation in teams, and it is very good chance for them to socialize and develop their cognitive abilities. And my further plans are to enhance this center with additional activities also related to prevention of cognitive decline. It may also decrease the burden of aging population to our government, and I guess it is perfect program.
Christine, thank you so much for introduction. So we are very glad that you joined the URAC community, and I am absolutely positive that it will be beneficial for the Armenian elderly, what we will do together in Armenia. And I would like to introduce the second new member, and it is, and I'm not absolutely positive that I will pronounce her surname correctly, but she will correct me if not. It is Mrs. May White from Ireland. May, are you with us?
Yes, I am, Dana. Good morning. And my name is Quaid, Q-U-A-I-D, which I believe originated in Denmark, but there you go. So anyway, Dana, it's lovely to see you. And thank you very much for, oh, I can hear another voice. Thank you very much for inviting me to join you. I'm really looking forward to it. I am a past president of Active Retirement Ireland, and we had 24,500 members, and we also had 550 groups that meet all around the country. I also belong to Age Friendly Ireland, and we have, that is for the 26 counties. It doesn't include Northern Ireland, which you all know has, you know, we have a problem there. And I chair the Older People's Council here in Wicklow, where I live. And Dirk was talking about the weather. Well, we had snow, but it doesn't stay here, Dirk, but it's extremely cold and we're not used to it. It's only 1 degree. I also do a radio chat call every Tuesday morning where I speak to the older people around my county and give them any information that they need to know. We are at the moment waiting on getting the vaccine, and they're talking about doing it first for 85-year-olds upwards, and then they will go into the younger cohort. Now that I can't see some of us getting it until May or beginning of June. We're at level 5 here, so we're locked in our houses since Christmas Eve. And it has been very bad. The COVID has been very, very bad here, but the numbers are coming down. So our older people are very independent, and we're treated quite well by our government, which is very good. We have very good pensions, and they do look after us. And they're in the throes of building primary care centres all around the country, which means that, you know, you can go up there for various things. So we've just got a new one here in our town, which is going to be very, very beneficial for our older people. Now, if anyone wants to ask me any questions about Ireland, I'd be very happy to answer it. But I'm so happy to be a member with all of you and to hear all the different aspects of what's going on in Europe. Thank you very much. And thank you to Dana for your lovely emails. It's been lovely to speak to you. Thank you.
Right. It is our great pleasure to get you, because you are probably the most efficient person in Ireland as far as this aging field is concerned, because of all your, you know, what you have done and all your influence that you are having. So we are extremely pleased, and I am sure that for the EURAC community it will be a big enrichment to get Ireland among our members. So welcome again. And now I think that I will start with you know, my alphabetic order, and we will start to talk about the technologies and what was the role, or what is the role during the pandemic in our countries, and how much more important it is to use technologies during pandemic than it was ever, you know, in the past. So now we will move on to Arlette van Assel from Belgium, and I would like to stress that Arlette, for me personally, is one of the most important persons that I have ever met in my life, because she is the person who brought me to memory training. So she's a psychologist from Antwerp, and she is extremely capable. Arlette, welcome to our meeting.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, I am president from the Senior Council in Antwerp. So I have a lot of contact with the elderly people here in our in Flanders and in our town. About technology, we make here a difference between people who suffer from disease, mental or physical disease, and other people who are independent. And the main reason is then to sustain them in their quality of life, like by domotica. But there is also discussion that it's not technology is not a substitute for human contact. So we must have that in our mind. In Flanders, there are in some big organizations coordinators for care technology. I give you two small examples. Memorite is a home trainer with a screen. And when people use this, they can show, they can see photos from their earlier life and experience to go by bicycle in their convenient location from the past. Another team is Vizier, and that's a project to stay longer at home. For example, there are systems to guarantee communication with the family, help by daily orientation, and so on. But there are also, we are seeing a lot of conditions, and the first one is that we must informate the people for who the technology is yeah, those people, we have the technology, and it's not enough to have contact, access to internet, or to know what there is about the possibilities, but also to sustain the people in using the technology in their own situation. The last thing I want to say is, in the COVID period, we used the computer to have contact with our members, but I see now it's very difficult because it's a formal way to have that contact, and we miss more contact to discuss and to know what happens with all our members. And I'm afraid that we're going to lose when it's COVID period is for a longer time, that we lose our eldest members. So that's one of my my sorrows. Yeah. So that's it.
Thank you so much, Arlette. I think that the situation is very similar in other countries, and now it was turn of Miloš Weiss, who apologized because he is after his knee surgery and he has everyday rehabilitation, so he couldn't be at this time with us, and it is actually my turn now. So I wanted to tell you that I am running a Center of Lifelong Learning, which is closed from March the 11th. We were able to make up for the spring lectures in September, and immediately from October the 5th, everything was closed again. And only half of my students, it means approximately 1,500 students, are connected with internet, and the others don't have computers, don't have any digital literacy. It means that they are actually, almost forsaken because they don't have any access, because I am sending to those who are having the internet connection online lectures. Not online lectures that they were registered for, but so-called bonuses, that they are getting historical lectures free of charge just to make this time of waiting more bearable for them. So these people who don't have these means, the new technologies, they feel very lonesome. And very often they are so scared from everything what is going on that they are afraid even to leave their homes. So it means that they are really confined to the homes and they don't meet anyone, and they feel depressed. And desperately everyone is waiting for the fall, where we hope that we would be able to open the start the school year again. So hopefully it will happen. So it is my report, and now I am coming to Denmark. And first on my list is Paul Anker from Global Seniors.
Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you from the start of the new year. I have only a few things to tell you about this topic, which have not been said before. I think for us in Global Senior, it had been a tremendous necessity with the meetings on Skype, Zoom, and every other kind of web meetings. But it seems that there is one thing we have to do. We have to pledge and to our societies that every household in the country has very good connection to the internet, because all these services, they depend on this connection more and more. because the different services grow more and more heavy, and it can't be transported in small cables. So we have to tell our governments to support us in this matter. Also, one thing more about it, it seems that every app is developed only for business people or for very young people. And they do not meet the need of older people. So we have to research and invest in developing these technologies to customize them to the need of older people. And this is very important because there will be not that many money attached to this project from the different societies. So we are in a conversation with our government to try to have more money for research in this field. Also, I would like to mention very shortly that it also shows us that you cannot only rely on social contact like this. You have to meet physical. You're in very bad shape if you can't do that. And what we have seen under this winter is that it is possible to meet outdoor, but cities, nursing homes, and housing areas are not made for outdoor living in the winter. And we think we should take this to a discussion that it should be possible to have outdoor areas where you can meet during winter time also with new technology of different kinds. It would be possible, and some countries have more than others because it's not in our culture, at least in Denmark, to meet so much outdoor. But this is also very important that we don't only rely in the techniques of digital contact during the internet. This was what I had to say. Thank you, Dana.
Thank you, Paul. So yeah, I wanted to just comment what you said. It is not exactly a matter of money with my students who don't have internet connection, because many of them are having computer at home, but they don't know how to use it. And it is so true what you said, that the IT experts should think more about developing age-friendly computers, which would be very simple, that people wouldn't be afraid to use, and they would be able to use them without any additional assistance. And it is the problem, because people are having computers at home, but they refuse to use them because they are too complicated for them. So thank you. And now I have on my list Peter Hansen from Danish Seniors.
Thank you very much, and welcome to all of you. You are having Denmark in stereo, so I will just add to what Paul Anker has said, that I think it has been a good experience to use modern technology instead of going personally to your doctor or when you are having daily treatments. It has often been possible to do that via the internet. So it is one of the positive aspects. But I must also say that when it comes to people, the very old people, they are not able to use, most of them are not able to use the technology. And their biggest problem is loneliness. And that's the thing I think we should focus much more on. because maybe the biggest problem in this pandemic time is the loneliness. And it is not our subject, but it is focused that the school children are equally suffering from loneliness and isolation. So when we are dealing with this lockdown, we have to have that in mind. But the modern technology, I think that for now, I completely agree that we have to ask the people knowledgeable about it to make easy, workable IT systems for older people. And then you started by telling about temperatures. Where I am right now, it's -10, but we have reached -20, almost 21, which is the lowest in 7 years, not since 2012. So we are having a very cold period and a very strange time with this pandemic. So we hope that it will soon we will be able to lift it. And they have already in the nursing homes lifted the restrictions about visits. Yes, that was all for now.
Thank you, Peter. Talking about temperatures in Prague was -12 this night, and now it is -6.5 during the day. So it is very cold. We have a lot of snow, which we have not had for several years. And so it also means that people are confined to their homes because of snow. They don't dare to go outside because they are afraid that they could break their legs or, yeah. So it is another aspect. Talking about what Peter said, that people are not able to use the technologies, and what I said, the problem is that the system somehow doesn't take it into consideration because, for example, to register for vaccination, it was done through computer for people over 80, and 3/4 of them were not able to do it themselves. They had to ask someone for a help. So maybe, the government should be more considerate and to take into consideration more the skills of the elderly if they apply this system. And so I found it very, very sad that it was done in that way. So now we are coming to Estonia. Estonia and Siri Jackson should be with us. Siri?
I am here. Hello. Well, I start with the weather because we here have -21. Oh. And we have also sun almost 3 days. So it's perfect here right now. Well, as you know, I'm representing the Estonian network of memory trainers, NGO 65B. However, I live and work in Finland in Multicultural Memory Center, the Finnish Society for Memory Work, as a specialist in multicultural memory work. About modern technology, since March last year, our network have organized a telephone survey because the telephone is the most relevant tool during the corona times and restrictions. This is a new survey method which is developing cognitive abilities through different discussions, themes, and topics. And now just ended the 12-long study, looked at the telephone interviewer more, not respondents. The design of the study was based on the statement that the telephone interviewer does not get satisfaction from calling in the call if the call is not maximally effective for the respondents either. One discovery in this study is that respondents adopted great these games, where they had to go back to memorize, to imagine their movements in their former places in their childhood. We discovered also that such kind of imagination games to stimulate the brain worked well in bedridden patients as well. The material of this study will be published at the end of this year, so you will see them soon. As far as technology is concerned, in Estonia, previous research has shown that knowledge about what researches are available and what opportunities a person has to get them, this is low. The study of how elderlies are managing was shown that the availability of getting information depends on the level of education of the elderly, which is quite an unequal situation. So this is from now from Estonia.
Thank you very much. Because you heard that Siri is based in Finland, so I asked her for an assistance to help us to recruit some Finnish organizations, because so far we have never had a Finnish member in EURAG. And I must say that it is extremely difficult to, to address the Scandinavian organizations because they are, I don't know, they are just having other goals. And I have been working on Swedish senior organizations for the full year without any success. So I hope, Siri, that with your help, we will be more successful in Finland. Thank you so much.
I sent forward your message, and probably we are a little bit more cold people also here as ours, so we have because of that.
So we will see how it goes. Yeah. Thank you so much. And now we are coming to France. And I don't know if Moira Alandvis is with us. I got in French, probably her apology that I didn't understand, but it came just a few minutes before we started, so I guess she couldn't make it. So we have two more people, of course, Monique Epstein, who is our Vice President for Communication. So Monique, yes, please tell us about the situation in France.
Yes, sure. 1 minute. Françoise is not here today. You know why? Because she's getting the second vaccination today, and it is so hard to get an appointment for vaccination that if you get one, you just run. Myself, I tried to have one. I mean, it's very hard. Anyhow, and Moira, I think she's still in Australia or whatever, and she sent indeed an email to wish us a nice meeting. Anyhow, so I would like to say something about the fact that I'm trying to. I've been sending out lists. Questionnaires to all of you and to other people, of course, who are not here today, but I take the opportunity to remind to those who are here that I would like to have some more information about the associations which are around you, and having a little description of the association and the website. Because I'm trying to make a list of these associations, and I got some of you, but I'm still missing some. And the other thing is, I would like also to know about all the newsletters that you might be editing monthly, 3 monthly, bi-monthly, or whatever, in any language, and because I think it's interesting just to show any kind of publication which would exist in any country. So I've got a lot. In fact, I've got some in Slovenian for the moment, and but it doesn't matter. So if you have publications which are online and in your language, doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be in English. Just send it to me. I think it's important to publicize them around. Whatever I wanted to say. As being in charge of an association called eSeniors, who is fighting for the inclusion of seniors, of course, I had this problem of not being able to make any physical workshops anymore for my students. So we have been going on to Zoom. And at the moment, we are making workshops on Zoom, how to use computers. And it's an experiment, everything, because we found out that it's very hard to teach about smartphones on Zoom. And also it's very hard to teach about tablets. But about computers, it's possible, as long as, of course, as the learner has a computer, as long as he has internet, and as long as he has at least basic knowledge to have an email. Apropos email, as I always say nowadays in France, Dana already mentioned it, for everybody in fact, to get an appointment for vaccination, you need a computer, you need an email, because the telephone doesn't work. In France, it doesn't work. So it's always busy. So people who are over 80, they have to have an email to get an appointment for vaccination. Okay, the only other thing I want to say that besides trying to make new workshops to learn about computers, we are trying also to make workshops like the one we are offering you about, or Dana is offering you about memory training. And now we are going to try also, again, English conversation online. This will be the 24th of March. And we are thinking of having a book club online. And we already have a date, which is the 14th of April. And we already have a book also, which is Animal Farm from George Orwell, which you could read in your native language and we would discuss in English. And the next ideas we have are eventually mindfulness, yoga online, music quiz before that, bingo. So we are trying all kinds of new things online. Because of the situation, of course, but I think these things could be useful even after that, because the computers are here and are not going to disappear. Okay, that's all for the moment.
I expected you actually to mention something that I thought that it was absolutely essential for your organization, that when people have to register for vaccination in France, the problem was that they didn't have any email. And your organization served, to many people to set up their email that they could register for vaccination. So I think that such organization as eSeniors plays a very important role in the senior community in Paris. So it is also, what we have to see, that now in pandemic, when we are so much, we depend so much upon the new technologies, that for senior citizens, it can be very a great hardship actually to adjust to all these requirements. So in this respect, I would like to thank you for what you have done for the senior community in Paris, because it's incredible. So yeah. I am moving to Germany. Dirk Jahre, our president, is the only person from Germany today on my list. Dirk?
Thank you, Dana. And again, I'm happy to see you all. In Germany, there's a growing awareness that the fact that literacy with modern communication means and technologies are not yet so much developed among the older population is a great danger for society at large. It is also a great danger for democracy because it prevents people to participate in society. And that kind of discrimination or barriers to enjoy fundamental rights is taken very seriously. There are various federated states, for example, Baden-Württemberg in the southwest of Germany, which have set up comprehensive programs to bring these new technologies closer to people. But not only there, some of our members even in their clubs for older persons train the membership in how to use computers and other devices, starting by iPhones, by tablets, etc., etc. These new cultural techniques become more and more widespread, and there is also a trend that older persons do use them quite intensively in order to do their banking, to get information about what happens, the TV programs, whatever they like, and that is supported, for example, in Homes for the Elderly, that they organize courses for those who, for the residents, and invite external people either to benefit from these courses or to contribute to these courses. And I think that is a pretty positive development. There will be something which will speed up the use of these devices once we have secure and stable systems and intelligent systems for voice command. Because what you said, Dana, earlier, these computers are too complicated. Once you can command them by your own voice and you can say, well, you start already. My wife always surprises me when she talks to her iPhone. She says, Siri, connect me with my friend, da, da, da. And then Siri says, well, mobile number or home number? And she says, you are stupid. Of course, mobile number, because she's always around somewhere. And she talks to these devices. But that is only the beginning. Once these devices will recognize your particular voice and your mood and how you feel, and they can detect whether you have fever or not, etc., that will be a big step forward in the development of these cultural techniques. Just to inform you about one fact, recently in the NGO Committee on Aging at the United Nations in Vienna, where I'm a vice chair of that committee, we have decided to create a focus group on digital change and what it implies for older persons. It's exactly what the topic of today's meeting. And we will then work on the positive and also the possible negative effects of digital change, including artificial intelligence developments. I'm in charge of writing a conceptual paper on this issue. And if you want to have that, I can share it in about a week or so with you, and you can contribute to that very brief conceptual paper. It should not be longer than half a page or a page. And you can contribute from your own experiences and your own concerns, where you say, oh, attention to this or that, or we need to develop this and that further. I would be happy to pick up all your ideas and include them later in the development of that conceptual paper, and when we deal with that in the focus group in Vienna. One final remark. when we say it's so cold in our countries, minus so and so and so and so, that is only external. I'm sure that in our hearts, we have high temperatures. It's very warm in our hearts. I see that in your faces. And even Christina, who has a background with a lot of snow, she looks so smiling that, or Siri, or whoever, Christine, Paul, all you, Arlette, I feel the warmth which is in your personality and in your heart, and that brings us together. Never mind the external temperatures. We may enjoy them too. Thank you.
Thank you, Dirk. Yeah, you hit the target. You know, this is the main feature of EURAG members. And it is why, you know, they are joining the EURAG community and why we feel so good being together. So I am moving on my list to Hungary. Gabor, are you with us?
Yes, now I am with you. Good morning, everybody. Thank Dirk. This was a wonderful speech. Everybody feels the warmth, yes. But I also wanted to report that actually the Nordic Pole came to Hungary 2 days ago, and yesterday it was minus 20 degrees, and I wanted to get into my car, and the door was completely frozen. I could not even open it, so I had to climb into the car through the boots from the back. So I felt being 21 years old because people were looking at me on the street. What is this old guy doing, stealing somebody's car or whatever? Anyway, I managed to go into my car that I could not start. The accumulator was frozen. So here we can feel the winter is here and the lack of technology. I thought, oh, I wish I had something to start my car, but I could not. So I had to go back. That was the story of yesterday. It's a very strange situation. I mention it only because not only warmth is important, but humor and laughing is very important to make life better and easier. So maybe you don't mind if I told this story, but actually it has something to do with the topic of this day. I was watching this conference Wednesday, only on Wednesday, because yesterday I could not join. And my impression was that actually societies are so hierarchical now. The technology is, I don't know, in the Mars, somewhere in the sky. Technology knows everything actually, but we, the people, are so much behind the possibilities. And that's what everybody was talking about, Dana, you and others, that there is the personality, the person behind the skin, and the meeting of the technology and the person. That's a major point, but probably we did not pay attention enough. And I think Dirk is writing a paper about this, how we relate to the new technology. And from this point of view, that was very funny. On Wednesday, I think that was the Czech presenter actually, who showed us a little gadget standing on the table and watching what a lonely person was eating and reporting the data to a nutrition. And the nutrition, who is a real person actually behind the computer. And she wrote back a letter to this person. It was a film, of course, that be careful, you eat too much fat. You should eat more salad. And this person started to eat more salad, but he hated it. He loved the big fat meat. So, and then he got more and more angry letters from the nutrition. And one day he did that. He put a a salad behind the meat, but he was not eating the salad, only the meat. But the little gadget reported, oh yeah, that's very nice. I can see you change your behavior and you are eating salad. So it's a tricky with the computer. So this is again a very funny situation and an example that it is much more complicated than only the technology. And also yesterday, that's why I could not attend the conference, because my class started yesterday with the university. And we changed Zoom, what we use now, and we are now very familiar with that. We changed it to SM Teams. Teams is a much more complicated system. And yesterday, I went through all the difficulties what generally older people feel when here is the computer and there are the students and I don't know what to do to see each other, to talk to each other, to show my presentation, and that terrible feeling that I am lost. I don't know what to do. Who should I turn to? So anyway, the personal side, and also one more, I don't want to take too much time of it, but somehow I got many examples about this dimension of the issue. And the case is as follows. Last year, we published a book on research and innovation in social work. And because I was one of the editors of this book, of course, I had to read all the 24 articles in that book. And one of them was about robot techniques for elderly people. And when I was reading this, and it was a completely new life for me. I had nothing, I did not know anything about that. And he was writing about Japan, where the humanoid robots are working with people, talking to them, and they are living together. And the role of the person is to make the robot happy, just a real person like a child. And I just opened my eyes, my goodness, what is this? What is this? And now we published the book and I got messages from people, social workers, and who are dealing with elderly people. And they wrote to me that, do you think that people who have this robot at home, they are happy with them? Okay, 5% maybe, who are open, who have personalities interested in this. But most of the people would be even more sorrow, have more difficult emotions, because they would think, oh my God, at the end of my life, now I'm sitting here and I've got only a machine. I don't have a partner, I don't have a friend, I don't have children or grandchildren. And at the end of the life, I have to talk to a little machine, which is not real. The whole is just made up. So it is I think, an unexpected conclusion of this actually very important development, because there is a lack of human resources and we need solutions. And the very last thing, okay, to finish it positively, that here in Hungary, just like in many countries, probably the best outcome of this COVID was that we don't have to go to have a medicine. We don't have to go to the doctor. They send it to the cloud, sort of. It's again a new concept. They said, I don't know where is the cloud, but they send it to the cloud and I go for the medicine. I just show my identity card. The computer is connected to the cloud and they look at me, oh, you are you, and I get the medicine. So this is a fantastic technology, actually, which makes our life so easy. We don't have to go to the doctor. It takes hours to sit there, wait just for a piece of paper. And I, for example, hope that this technology remains with us even after the COVID. Actually, the COVID situation is much worse now in Hungary than it was 2 weeks ago. This new mutation is coming back and getting the situation again worse and worse. Vaccination goes very slowly. So the quarantine situation coming back. So unfortunately, at this moment, not only the cold is a big problem, but also the new version of the virus. So we would need more technology, more people, more warmth, and more smile. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gabor. I just, what you said, last year in 2019, we went with Peter to America, to the United States, and we met a small robot called Alexa in the home of one of my friends. And Alexa was so smart and we were so impressed. You could ask almost anything, but then we started to ask more, insidious questions, and Alexa got lost. And at that moment, you get somehow disappointed and you realize that it is really only a technical device, that, it is pre-programmed. And it is, I think, what you have been talking about, that people are missing that human touch. And the more they realize that it is only a substitute, mechanical substitute, they can be disappointed. So I agree with you. And as far as the situation of virus situation in your country, it is identical with our situation in the Czech Republic. We have high numbers, and we closed 2 districts for people, with exceptions, can't go in and out because the situation is so serious. So we will move to Italy. Dario should be with us. Dario Bracco.
Hello. How are you? So, I am very interested in this discussion because...
excuse me, Dario. Please, yes. Could you stop for a minute? I would like to introduce you more, because it is what we settled together. I would like to tell you, to all of you, that Dario is, in this respect, what we are discussing today, the topic about technologies, that he is the co-founder of the International Gerontotechnological Society. So it is many, many years ago. I think you have founded it already 30 years ago. So Dario is the person who could foresee, how technologies will affect our life in the future. So Dario, welcome to our meeting.
Yeah, thank you.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. As I said, I am very curious to receive this news from our friends from these different countries concerning this very simple matter, is technology, what it means technology for people, for aged people. It's a useful technology, is to simplify movement. So we devised this kind of technology in 4 items. Living at home, it means safety, means mobility, hygiene, and so on. What is called activity living technology. The second is to be assisted, maybe communication, maybe robot if you want. Italian as Latin people don't like too much robot. Even we have in Pisa, it's a famous university that produced this kind of technology. And the third is to be care at home. This is very important. It's the pandemic is put on the evidence the possibility to be care at home. In Italy, they are organizing a group of doctors, specialists, that instead of recovery people, because the hospital is full, they organize at home good care. Yesterday, I just see a pulmonary echograph. Echograph is a diagnosis necessary to discover this virus, no? Is 2410, is 2-3 box of cigarettes, no more large. And of course, you put you connect it to the computer, and you have at home a big diagnosis, not a simple or not perfect diagnosis. So to be care at home, and then why not to work on to amuse to some hobbies. You know? This principle of gerontology. So all this technology must be studied, must be authorized or correct by the gerontology, the science of aging. Of course, I think we have this experience of gerontechnology 30 and 25 years ago, when the geriatric doctors coming out of the world of medicine, not old specialties, very young, like physical medicine, the younger specialty. And of course, all people enter in this field looking at the environment, external or internal. So this society still exists and work very much. This year we of course we canceled the World Meeting in Norwich. We hope to be able to do so next year. But before entering the matter of communication of computer, which is one of the aspects, but sophisticated aspect of gerontechnology, we must think all it concerns the safety of people daily living at home. So system to one example, a soft domotics, the light that to reach off and on automatically. The temperature of the house also is a simplified technology. Then, of course, we need more sophisticated technology. But the importance is to avoid like a fall in the toilet, for example. Toilet and bathroom are plenty of technology for the gerontechnology. To be able to make a shower alone, you must have something to stay sure in the. So this is the gerontechnology. Then we could talk about the computer. I believe that it's very difficult today to jump from before the pandemic and now that everybody established that we must make something by the computer. A lot of people doesn't know the computer, so we need help. The help coming from children or some parents or some association. It is complicated. This is not easy. It's not gerontechnology. It's a complicated technology for the time being. Maybe for the future, the next generation of aged people will be able to handle, to work, to play with the computer as our son today. But I would remember that the gerontechnology is start from the activity, the first thing we need at home, in the kitchen, in the bedroom, in the bathroom, and then to move ahead, safety, like a wheelchair, like other aids, And then outside, why not in the car? We have the facilities in the car with the system to take easy the driving. A lot of an interesting word of the For a while, I think that it is an interest argument to develop also in Europe, because now, as I wrote you, the WHO established that the next 10 years will be the time of the healthy aging. I don't know what it means, because it's just established this program, but it should be very interesting to discover if genome technology will be considered in the healthy aging or not. Or healthy aging will be that survival people at the pandemic will be stronger than us today. Because for the time being, we are assisting at a lot of death in the people age. The program is interesting to be looked at, to be assisted, to be followed. That's what I have. A lot of things. If I start to talk about technology, we could stay all the day here. If you have some questions, please.
Dario, we will save the questions for the general discussion, because now I have to give the floor to other participants of our meetings. But anyway, thank you so much. And there were very interesting topics during the conference these past 2 days, and we will get a chance to discuss them a little bit later. Now we are coming to Lithuania, and so we have Virgilia Dorgova, who is representing the EURAC Lithuanian Association today.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I attended the conference in Prague, and it was a very intense time, and a lot of information flowed to my head. Interesting was to hear that they concluded that 2 revolutions was in our time from 1950 to 20 years. One was the population aging, which grew very quickly, and other revolution was in technologies. So we can go close in these things. Surveys and statistical studies show that elderly people have a much slower response to innovation, as we already know. The same was said about the older medical staff. What I can see in my country also, because if all the medical staff, they could not in good connection be with computer skills. And elderly people are not treated regularly as of COVID. The big problem is that we cannot seek medical attention enough for this time. This is, I think, in all countries. And examples shows that, for example, one example was shown that study showed that in road accidents, young drivers make more accidents, but older drivers make more of critical accidents. So memory control is very important for our age. Digital engagement is very useful for memory improvement. But high-risk elderly now has communicate mostly online, and by mobile telephones, but those who have no skills are in very bad position and feel themselves more lonely. And there was told many about loneliness. The technologies presented at the conference are interesting and useful, but most of them are still difficult for us to reach, often for the high price, a very high price, as they said. On my branch of pensioners, for example, organization in capital of Republic Lithuania are about 170 members, but only 70 of them had a mail. But real possibility to communicate by email is more or less. So this elderly who has not, they had only one way to communicate with TV. And this is not a good choice, because TV sometimes gives not optimistic ideas and about useful devices for all age. Yes, on the conference we told a lot of interesting things and shows in presentations about distance devices which can help for medical situation of elderly people. So like temperature measure, blood pressure monitors, sleep problems monitors, sugar meter, vibrating bracelet, robots, and a lot of things. But monitoring the patients for basic interactions, sometimes it is only in our future minds. But how to provide fast warning in case of possible dangers, how to support independent living of elderly, especially in COVID situation. Most technologies shows that they are oriented for future. For example, digital life apps contains sequence exercises that stimulate the different senses of the human being, such as movement, cognition, perception, activities of daily life, and creativity. But the elderly people have not enough knowledge for these technologies and how to use them.
Yeah, so I have to interrupt you because I still have a lot of people on my list, and I am watching the time and they wouldn't get the opportunity. Thank you so much. I think that what was very important, what you said, is that also the older physicians throughout Europe are not able to cope with these new technologies as it would be expected, and they claim that it is because the IT experts actually don't develop the technologies in that way that they would need. So it means what is needed and what is wanted and what is available. There should be some optimization. So thank you so much. And we are moving to Professor Olga Skaric from Macedonia. Olga, are you with us?
Yes, okay, I'm good. Nice to be with you. We don't have snow. We have sun shining and all day much more than 15 degrees.
Oh.
So different of there, and we like to have a little bit snow, but no snow. Was so nice to be these 2 days with the Zoom conference in Prague. So great innovation. I was fascinated to listen for all this discovery. But I feel some illusion and the delusion of the use of technology for old age, a feeling that was nice to have young generation very interested for independent and healthy living in old age. So many gadget demonstrations have been done, yes. And with the baby boom generation, as me, I felt some positive, but also some negative experience to use this gadget. Yes, I feel rejuvenated, younger, and it meant myself when I'm playing with this kind of gadget as my granddaughter. I feel as I am a teenager, totally other age. But I feel again with the fear of aging and death with all these tricks. These gadgets are as magic toys to accept virtual reality as a reality. Quest for freedom, for autonomy, for renewal. For me, this was a kind of obsession with the longevity, with aging, and a try to avoid mortality. People as immortal. Question is how to avoid fears of loneliness, aging, and death. It was interesting to see this Kaleido from Prague gentleman show, or some kind of virtual video or video with 360 degrees. And in some moment I was with a message as maybe this will be a kind to open and to permit the entrance in the paradise when we are dying. Just like this is to enter in the other space. And another maybe better approach for me will be to have this Nikola Tesla. He was also technology discovering things, or from some new IT technology PhD, 3 PhD. The name is Bernardo Kastrup. The approach was about analytic idealism as solution, to say a consciousness only ontology. Now, with these two kinds of revolution, maybe for us, this young generation think is okay. But when they will be aging, needs to be much more discovery, and maybe will be this consciousness only ontology, much more spiritual approach to life. I will stop here.
Thank you. Thank you, Olga. Olga is a professor of psychology, and we always are getting, these sort of spiritual thoughts, which is so good. Thank you so much. You talked about virtual reality, that people were taken for walks actually to the woods or to the cities. And I thought that especially during pandemic, it was such a smart way how to take them out, and not to take them out in reality, but in this virtual reality, to give them some experience, some excitement. So I was pleasantly surprised that something like that is available. So I am now moving to Netherlands. Jaap van der Spek. Jaap, are you with us? Monique, is Jaap with us? Monique. So I can get now neither Jaap nor Monique.
I'm here. I'm here.
So what about Jaap? Is he with us?
No, he's not.
Oh, all right.
He's not. I had a problem to solve because water is freezing and there is no water, something like that. Okay, anyhow,
I see.
Jaap is not there.
Thank
No.
you. Thank you so much. And we are coming to Poland. Grazina Buzek.
Yeah.
Welcome to the meeting.
Welcome, everybody. Hello, everybody. It's very nice to see you again. I couldn't, unfortunately, participate in the conference yesterday and the day before yesterday, but I was engaged in another meeting and conference which was connected a little bit with the topic we are discussing today. That was the international project ICT Skills for All. And it was dedicated to those who have no or just a little skills in ICT, because this is the great challenge at the moment and concern and the question how to engage persons who has not at all, no skills, digital skills. That was already told here. We are talking about, I will see some numbers. There are, according to the survey, Aging and Retirement in Europe, International Journal of Digital Literacy, tells us that there are about 36 persons over 55 with no computer skills in Europe. This is average and this is different in different countries. But for example, in Poland, among persons over 55 is about 60% who have no computer skills, and another 36% in this age group has so-called basic skills. And also these basic skills, in my opinion, don't allow to understand and to be really aware of this very new technologies, what also Olga has told about this complicated and absolutely not not to understand, to be understood by not only persons over 60, but also for me, for example, when we are talking about virtual reality, about this augmented reality, different combinations, this is so complicated that how can we use it if we even don't understand it, if we can't repeat it, if we can't remember all of this? And that's why all of that is in my opinion, and we are also talking about this, is also the question of ethics. This is ethical issue. How and if we should treat all these technological devices in comparing to the needs and expectations of persons who are aging. And it is also the question of choice, that because we are at the moment where we don't have the choice, yes, as it also was told here. And this is a real problem, and this is also the real problem if we should, and those persons who have no digital skills have to learn, if they really have to, if they don't want. And this is really a very complicated issue. We are talking about this together with older adults, also to those who have no digital skills, and we try to find the solution which will be from one side practical, but from the other side also taking to account the personal needs, the personal attitudes to the reality, to own aging, and to be treated as human being who has own and free will to decide about their life. So this absolutely no digital knowledge and competence just is the actually the problem to be to live in another world. This is not the same world we are living in. So persons who have no digital skills, who don't understand this part of our reality, and the others. And also this attitude of young persons. You have told about the conference. I am at the moment consulting some projects from young persons with solutions for older adults, different products, different solutions. And those young people have very sophisticated ideas, but have no idea about older adults, about aging, about needs, about diversity, about different ways of living, conditions, and so on. So we try to connect these persons, so these young persons and older adults, in order to develop different solutions just together. But this is also not very, you know, absolutely super solution, because we can only contact older adults who are active, who are engaged, and this is difficult to reach those who are lonely at home, who has not so much social connections. So this is a very complicated issue, which we should, I think, in this our ORAC, this group, at our meetings to discuss or to discover a kind of statement, because it is absolutely crucial at the moment, because the world of techniques, of different technical solutions is running ahead without looking back, and a lot of persons just is left behind and will never get to this point where the others are running. I think this is the point where we should really talk about those who don't have digital skills, don't want to have no possibilities to learn no more. And what about them? What about their independence? What about their rights, human rights, and so on? And this is my reflection from your, also from your contributions.
So Grażyna, thank you so much. Grażyna is a gerontologist, and I think that it was a very important aspect that you mentioned, because despite the fact that you have not attended the conference within the 2 past days, it was actually what was going on behind the scene. You know, it is, they didn't want to talk about it because they were promoting technologies. Yeah. But there was a Czech sociologist who was bringing the doubts if we are going, you know, if we can address actually the elderly as whole, because we are automatically excluding a part of the elderly who don't have the digital skills. And I think that where the disproportion is nowadays is that the IT experts are not aware of the needs of those who are objecting it, who are reluctant to get these skills, because they consider it too complicated. And they didn't come to the point that they should make it age-friendly. the technologies. And age-friendly technologies is something that will be probably a very hot topic in the near future. Thank you, Grazina. It was very good. So now we are coming to Slovakia. Aneta Zubekova.
Okay, thank you for the floor. I am, as you recognize, I am at work, and it is a lot of other activities near me, which I must respond on that. Very briefly, in general, in Slovakia, we have 3 groups of seniors. The first one are those seniors who were involved into the using of digital technologies during their active economic part of life. They are very advantageous in this time because they can practically continue fluently in using basic tools and in innovation. They are able to download digital applications. They utilize e-shops. They use internet banking, e-healthcare, etc. Also, part of this group are seniors who are students on third age university, where they improve their digital skills. And by the way, we have 17 third age university in Slovakia. Second group are those seniors who start to learn the using of digital technologies at the beginning of their retirement period. They are on the basic level of using, and they continue in pandemic period with basic tools and some improvements with assistance of family members. And they usually use mails, news, photos, Facebook, and that's all. Third group are those seniors who didn't use digital technology before pandemic period, and now in pandemic period, they are without any knowledge of development they're using. On the other hand, they are afraid from it, and they are in the panic how to switch on and how to continue. And they usually use very simple telephones or push button phone and maximum tablets with some help of family members. But on the other hand, there are in the country some training for seniors. A big corporation use their money partly for training of digital skills for seniors. Slovak Union of Pensioners were also co-organizer of some digital skills training. We have a number that 22 participants are now very, very good to develop their knowledge obtained during this training events. But all of us are really fully aware that there is not enough. There is only a part of the, as a sample of the number of all seniors living in our country. And surely I agree with Grazina. We are in the comparable ship that there is a lot of gaps here, and we need some, I don't know, some better approach or new methods or something more comprehensive, more complete, more strategic for it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aneta. Yeah, you are right. We need the IT experts to come close to the ground. Yes. And now we are reaching Slovenia. Jessica Puhar.
Hello to everybody. I would like to provide you some information of very practical nature because I didn't have time to be present on the conference or yesterday and the day before. In Slovenia, There are some estimations that the share of older people in general who now use email and smartphones has increased significantly due to the needs of the corona circumstances. People learned quickly. This is especially true for many of those who live together with the younger generation, which makes the learning process easier. More data of this will be available, I hope, in March. Already 5 years ago, in our organization, in our federation, we provided these computers a part of our associations that were not equipped enough. The report in 2020 here says that a part of this equipment was not used. Some of our members who are otherwise active and work in associations hesitate or they do not opt to training and the new way of working. Obstacles of more use of digital techniques are fear and the kind of respect for technologies, the lack of motives, and the lack of knowledge how to approach to the people. One of the important reasons on the side of organizers we identified an inappropriate education and training that is not adapted to the capacities of all the candidates. They said it was all too fast, we cannot follow, we cannot learn, and so and so. The second reason was the insufficient dispersion of this type of education per territory. If people do not have transport connections and do not have the possibility to travel to urban areas, training courses should be brought closer to them. The third reason the people mentioned is the equipment which is not adapted to the capacities of all the people. They said all the computers, all the tablets, all the iPhones, it is all adapted to the possibilities of younger people. We cannot look at the things which are very small, we cannot read, we cannot find ourselves in such an equipment. This year, we decided to approach to the people more. It is only the thing we can do, you know. Other things that are not dependent of us. Our goal is to get closer to the people achieving members in the most remote units with learning methods that will suit to the capabilities of seniors. And the second action we have now started is to pursue the government that it ensure the acquisition of equipment and financing of a e-care for people over the age of 69 from the state budget within the framework of intervention legislation to help the economy recover after COVID situation. We have only in Slovenia also 20% of the territory which is not covered by broadband network that allows the use of internet. And we are also pressing the government that this expansion of the broadband network cannot be left to the market interest. This is not feasible because of no profit could be expected. We need to provide this because people there are isolated and discriminated. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now I am coming to Ukraine. Galina Polyakova.
You know, unfortunately, our NGO is focused on the problems of old, lonely, vulnerable, and poor people. So these older people have no access to any internet, they have no computers, and they have old-fashioned telephones. So you can hardly expect them to use smartphones. They have no money for that. And they have no money for internet connection. So actually, so many older people in Ukraine are poor, unfortunately, I have to confess that. These problems can't be solved in the nearest future. And of course, they suffer from they cut contacts because of COVID. They prefer to stay at home. Perhaps this is very wise, and of all people infected with coronavirus in Ukraine, about 7% are older people aged 70 plus. So staying at home is a very good remedy. So our work now is focused on contacting these people and supporting them mainly by telephones, because all our volunteers, we have 1,500 volunteers, but they all are 60 plus and to be exact, mainly 65 plus. So they also belong to the risk group. So the communication is mainly provided by telephones. Of course, some people among our volunteers, they have access to internet and computers and to laptops, to any smartphones. So we have Zoom sessions, but majorly the contacts are done by telephone, because we are not allowed to invite people to the meetings. This, of course, is a very difficult period in our work, in our activity, but let's hope that something will be better. And I sent a short note to Dana that our Moldovan colleagues expressed interest to join Europe. Maybe we can later on discuss this matter.
Yeah, thank you.
So, and I wish everybody to be safe and healthy and happy.
Thank you, Galina. What is the temperature in Kiev? What is the temperature outside?
Temperature is -12, and Kiev is buried in snow, and even the school children were allowed not to go to schools, and through the window I see that they are very happy on their sledges, and in some villages the schools do not work because the school buses could not get reached.
Yeah, so I can see.
Everybody is very happy.
Thank you. I can see the difference, you know, -21 in Finland and plus 15 in Macedonia, you know, so such a range, wide range of temperature. Yeah, so
that's wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I would like to convey the floor to Dirk for his final word. Because it is 11:58 now, and we were supposed to finish by 12. So Dirk, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dana. It's 1.5 minutes, which you left over for me. That's okay. I would like to thank in the first place Monique for having arranged this Zoom conference. She does that very thoroughly and much in time to announce it, etc. And it's perfect. From her side, I would like to thank Dana for her moderation of the long speakers list and her intensive comments on some of the aspects highlighted by our colleagues and friends. And obviously, I would like to thank everybody for reporting the situation in their countries, and from sharing with us what are the problems which they face. And some of them also not only highlighted the problems, but also the opportunities and the possibilities. And I think there are a lot of possibilities and future perspectives which we should take into account. And sorry. And see what we can do with that. My concern right now is how can we, from that richness of contributions from all of you, how can we make a list of recommendations? That seems to be very appropriate, because if we always claim, well, they don't listen to us, then we, on the other side, we need to come forward and propose things and say, well, you better do this, that, and that. and the other because, otherwise, what would be the consequences? And what are your obligations, your responsibilities? And I think we should try now to make out of this session, which in a couple of seconds comes to an end, to make a list of recommendations and send them out to those who are concerned with these new technologies, with their implementation, also with their financing, with their use, etc., etc. Is there anyone who is a volunteer to try to set up a first draft of such a list of recommendations?
If I can suggest, I would ask Grazina, because I thought that she had such a good comment.
Yeah, everybody had very good comments. But Grazina, do you have some time to do so?
Yes, I can do that, but it will take a little time. But I can somehow collect all these recommendations and also statements, and maybe combine that together with the recommendations from our project, because they were very similar, and that was also connected with a little bit different point of view, to change the point of view from the European Union, because in all the documents we have went through at the moment in this project about digitalization and digital skills were mainly dedicated to children, young persons, and labor market. And there were nothing about older adults, about those who are not connected with labor market, but who are connected with the social life. And that's why it is very important to stress and to point this different area of interest, which also European Union should consider and just mention in the documents which are preparing at the moment.
Yeah.
The next future.
I appreciate very much that you well, with a little bit of arm twisting, that you agree taking over this job. I suggest that we team together, you and me, and that we try to set up, well, a catalog of recommendations and send them via Dana to everybody for comments, and so that it becomes a common, we stand on common grounds and common convictions from May, not the month, Kuwait, correct? Okay, good. To Jessica, to everybody, and collect all that and make something out of it, so that in a relatively short time, you will get a draft and you will be asked to comment on that. And Monique will be happy to contribute to that too, and to put all these things then later on our website, so that it finds a large auditorium and can be used by everybody in our organization. With that, I would like to thank you, Grazina, Dana, Monique. We stay in contact on this little approach. And I'm very happy that I met you today. Whether it's cold or not, your hearts are warm, as I know. I said that already, and that is reassuring to everybody, and especially to me. I wish you all the best. Stay healthy, take care of yourself, and take care of all those around you. And let's hope that we have some other Zoom events, but soon also that we can drink coffee together, that we can put our arms around our neighbors, and that we can cheer each in front of the other and have common meetings. Thank you very much. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
Goodbye.